My name is Jon Spira-Savett. I'm the rabbi here serving this congregation, Temple Beth Abraham, and my colleagues here are Reverend Allison Palm, the pastor of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Nashua, and Reverend Michael Reinke, who serves Church of Our Savior Episcopal Church in Milford as the head of Lowell House, an agency in Massachusetts. We have another team member, Reverend Sally Newhall, who is up here. She's a retired minister and recently pastor of the Nashua Presbyterian Church, and it is our honor to welcome Dean Phillips, United States Representative from Minnesota's 3rd District and candidate for the Democratic nomination for President of the United States. We want to get into things right away while we're here in our conversation, but first a couple of thank yous to Beth Abraham, the community here, and our board of directors for making this space available to us, and to Joshua Bernard in particular from the Phillips campaign who's been our liaison. Welcome, community members, fellow citizens. This is the second forum of our 2024 series in this campaign, hosted by How to Be President, transforming how we learn about candidates by asking better questions. If you'd like to keep up with this series, where we've spoken with candidates for both the Republican and Democratic nomination, or our project generally, you can sign up at the sheet at the entrance, different sheets from the campaigns, or follow us online on Facebook, or bookmark howtobepresident.org. Congressman Phillips. There's a charade in campaigns that's actually damaging to a future president and keeps important things away from us as citizens. We conspire, we and you, candidates, so that you will present yourself as a Renaissance person, knowledgeable about every single issue equally, possessing a spotless record of accomplishment and good judgment, all the exact right experiences for a job unlike any other, self-confident about your ability to do any aspect of the job of president very, very well. This is, of course, impossible. And more important, these are dangerous illusions. They can lead to bad decisions and harm for our nation. We need you to be a reflective leader about aspects of the presidency that you are prepared for and those you are not prepared for. And we want you to take us seriously as voters who would never interview a leader for even the smallest business without asking questions of the type that we will ask you today. We want you as voters to know that you can help every candidate by making clear you don't believe in the perfection myth and you think reflection makes for better leaders. Better questions get us better leadership. So we will not in this hour be asking questions about specific issues, even though, as we talked about, the three of us are involved individually and together on some issues intensely. We know that we can learn about your perspective on the issues at other events, on your website, and in other ways. And of course, if they are germane to a question we're talking about, by all means, talk about an issue. We will also not be talking about any other person who is seeking the office of the president but you, or who is holding the office now, or who has in the past. And although we are meeting in a synagogue, we won't be asking anything about Israel-Palestine, even though that's on so many of our minds and we are all praying for so many people. And though we, the interviewers, are people of faith, we won't be asking you, Congressman, for any personal statements about faith. Our questions are good for candidates who do and don't regard themselves as religious in any way, and for voters who are and aren't religious. We're just using our position as community civic educators and conveners of moral conversation to step in because no one else is doing it enough. We hope all of you in the audience or who listen later on will copy these questions, which are also online, howtobepresident.org. And also you journalists in the back, over and over ask these same questions as you do over and over about the issue. Citizens and journalists take responsibility so that no candidate gets through New Hampshire the next 2 weeks or anywhere in the country without this kind of conversation. And congressmen, make these part of your regular speeches and events too. So a few guideposts and then we'll get into it. Representative Phillips, if we ask something that's not clear, we're not pros at this, ask us what we're getting at. And by all means, take a few minutes to gather your thoughts. These may not be the kinds of things you talk about on the trail every day. We're not going to keep time on question by question. We'll go back and forth if we want to follow up. You could ask us things. We might interrupt or redirect you if we wonder, which goes against our pastor natures. We are not journalists, and even though our questions are a lot about honesty, we won't be fact-checking here. That's your job out there, journalists for later. We will be talking here just about the questions that our team has worked hard on, but if you want to stay afterwards here and talk to Congressman Phillips afterwards, if you want to talk, by all means stay and gather here. This is one of those times you can use devices in a place of worship. Feel free, as long as you're not making extra noise, silence the ringers. If you push these things out, do it honestly and with respect. Don't distort what happened or was said here. And maybe hashtag it, hashtag how to be president. We'll post this recording tomorrow, and anyone's welcome to use it or copy it or excerpt it, as long as you don't distort. Sign up for our information. Again, don't forget to vote in the upcoming primary.